Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Today we're going to talk about the choose function and how to use the choose function in your queries in Microsoft Access. Today's for beginners. You don't have to know much to go over today's video. You should know what calculated query fields are. That's about it. And optionally, maybe the if function. It's basically an if-then function. And maybe the DatePart function. These are things I'm going to show you in the video, but you don't have to know how if and DatePart work to get it. So let's just see what I'm talking about. All right, in yesterday's video, which is on fiscal sorting, so you can sort based on your fiscal quarter, right? So if your fiscal year starts in October, then you want those to sort first, right? So I used a little trick to change the quarter. All right, what I basically did was I got Q, which is the DatePart quarter of a particular date. So it's going to give you a number from 1 to 4, right? And then I used an if function to say, well, if Q equals 1, then I want to make that the fourth quarter. Otherwise, make it Q minus 1. So quarter 2 became quarter 1, quarter 3 became quarter 2, quarter 4 became quarter 3, and quarter 1 becomes quarter 4, right? So it flips it. So now you can sort properly by that method. Well, in the forums, one of my students, Stanley, said he got his quarters using the choose function like this. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that does work really well for this. It's another option. And I haven't done a video on the choose function yet. So guess what? That means it's time for a video on the choose function. So basically, Stanley's method with the choose function, pretty much the same thing. You take quarter. We're both getting the quarter of the current date the same way, right? With the DatePart function. Okay, so Q is the quarter, and what choose does is it looks at this value, this number, and then it picks from this list of options. So it's doing the same thing. So if Q happens to be 1, it gives you the first option. If Q is 2, it gives you the second option, and so on down the line. So let's see how this works in my TechHelp free template. Let's say I've got a customer table here, and let's say that we're going to use this family size value here. Let's pretend it's an order size, right? We want to give it either small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large, and so on, based on that number, right? So 1 will be small, 2 will be medium, 3 will be large, 4 will be extra large, and so on. Okay? Now, could you put these values in a table? Yeah, you could, but if this is one of those things where those values never change, and it's the same everywhere, and you don't ever plan on changing it, just sure, you could use the choose function. So I'll make a query, create, query design, and we don't need all this stuff. I'm going to close the property sheet. I'm going to close the add tables. I like to get my add tables over here from the navigation pane. All right, so I'm going to bring over the CustomerT, and I'm just going to bring in that family size field. Now, so I don't have to always refer to it as family size, I'm going to give it an alias. We're just going to call it S. All right, S is family size. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see it. Shift F2. Oh, and the voting on yesterday's video, everyone said they liked the Shift F2 zoom better than the Windows magnifier zoom because the Windows magnifier can get kind of blurry. So I'll keep using this moving forward. This is what I like too. All right, so now I can just refer to that field as S, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, now here I'm going to make my order size based on whatever the value in S is. All right, so again, I'm going to zoom in. So we're going to call this guy order size, colon, choose. I know you don't have to type it in all caps. I just do it for emphasis, right? So the first thing is what field has the value that you want to use for your choose function? Well, that's S. We just made that. All right. Now, if choose is equal to 1, I'm going to put in here the word small, comma. If choose equals 2, I'm going to put in here medium. If it's 3, large. If it's 4, X large. Right? If it's 5, I'll just do XL or XXL and then XXXL and so on. Okay? Now choose, like I said, is 1 based, so the first item has to be 1. If you have zeros or any numbers larger than the number of items in this list, choose will return a null value. Okay, so make sure you got enough options in here to cover all the possible values. Okay, now when I run this bad boy, there you go. That's how choose works. It's good for small lists, like the thing we did with the fiscal year. That's great. Small, medium, large, that kind of stuff is fine. Any set lists that you know aren't going to change. Some other examples, right? North, south, east, and west. Sure, not a problem. If you give it a 3, it's going to return east, right? Again, if this is something that's consistent throughout the entire database, you're never going to change it. You're never going to add, delete more items. Go with this. This is fine. Here's one for a single character weekday, right? You see this a lot in academia. I remember this back from high school, right? R is Thursday. So you got your weekday function, right? The weekday function takes a date and returns a number from 1 to 7. So if it's 1, it's U for Sunday, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Right? Status IDs. Again, pending, approved, rejected, archive. And again, do you need to put this stuff into a table? That's kind of up to you. If it's always these 4, it's never anything else. You don't want to run around in your database and have to change or add this stuff everywhere. So if you're going to use it in one spot, or you're absolutely sure it's never going to change, then sure, go ahead. Throw it right in here, hard-coded. Here's one of my favorite things, a rating system, right? And these are little Unicode characters. 1 star, 2 star. So if the rating value is 1, you get 1 star. 2, you get 2 star, right? 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. These are little Unicode characters. I've got another video coming up to teach you how to actually use these. It's going to be pretty cool. But you can copy this stuff here. I'll just copy these right out of this PowerPoint slide. Copy. All right, come back over here, design view, and I'll just do this here. I'll get rid of this. Paste it in. Access supports most Unicode characters. Unicorn characters. Unicode characters. I think I just watched a fan-made video on YouTube for the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. They made like another episode. It was really pretty cool. So I got unicorn on the mind from Uni. All right. So there you go. There's that. Hit OK. All right. I'm going to save this as my choose query. And now when I run it, what do you get? There you go. Look at that. You get your 5-star rating. See? And it's picking the right one out of the choose function. I'm going to talk about more of this in my upcoming special characters video. And notice, 0s come back null. 11 comes back null because there's nothing in there. Now, if you send it a null value, you're going to get an error message because it can't take a null. Okay? So what you could do is you could say this has to be is not null. And there you go. And now you won't get those null values. Okay? Or you could always NZ it if you want to. So there you go. That's the choose function. That's just another one of those great toolbox functions to have in your box of tools, right? So I do cover choose in more detail in my Access Expert Level 25 class. In my full course, I have covered pretty much every function that you can think of that's included in Access and VBA. I just haven't made TechHelp videos for them all because honestly, choose isn't a function that I use on a regular basis. But it is handy in certain circumstances. There are other functions that are similar. For example, I use if a lot, nested ifs once in a while, if it's not too many options. Switch is another good option. Switch is better for inequalities. I got a whole separate video on the switch function. But let's say here, so here is our choose function. Let's call this guy rating. All right, and then we'll do it again with the switch function so you can see the difference. I'm going to copy this. And we'll come over here. And I'm going to paste that in. Let's zoom in, Shift F2. All right, so let's just say this would be the rating with switch. All right, so this, you'd have to say this is going to be equals switch. Now, the way switch works is first you'd say S equals 1, right? Then you get your value. And then after that, another item, S equals 2, and then a value, right? And then S equals 3, and then a value. You see? So it's an item, and then what you want for that item, right? And inequality also, right? S equals 4, and then you get this guy, and then S equals 5, and you get that guy. That's how switch works. Right? And so if I run it, it still works. You get the same values. But as you can see, in this particular case, it's a lot more work typing all that in. This works better with, like I said, inequalities. Like you can do grades, right? You could say if the grade is greater than 90, then give it an A. If it's greater than 80, give it a B, and so on. So switch I use mostly for inequalities. But choose is really nice if you just got one value and it's IDs, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But check out that video. And like I said, in my full course, I do a comprehensive guide to access functions. I cover all the different functions. There's the string functions, the logical functions, the math functions. Yes, even the trig functions. I've got an example with trig in here. The type conversion functions. What else we got? We got the date time functions. We got, lots of date time functions. There's tons of date time functions. Aggregate functions, domain aggregate functions, you name it. There's lots of stuff in here. Financial functions, a loan payment calculator is the most popular one. So what other kind of functions? All right, then we get into charting and stuff. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff in my lessons. Check them out. Links down below. But that's going to do it. That's your Tech Help video for today, folks. I hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button right now and give me a like. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. And make sure you click that bell icon and select all to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. Do you need help with your Microsoft Access project? Whether you need a tutor, a consultant, or a developer to build something for you, check out my Access Developer Network. It's a directory I put together personally of Access experts who can help with your project. Visit my website to learn more. Any links or other resources that I mentioned in the video can be found in the description text below the video. Just click on that Show More link right there. YouTube's pretty good about hiding that, but it's there. Just look for it. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, tables, all that stuff. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? And if you like Level 1, Level 2 is just $1. That's it. And it's free for members of my YouTube channel at any level. Speaking of memberships, if you're interested in joining my channel, you get all kinds of awesome perks. Silver members get access to all of my extended cut Tech Help videos, and there's hundreds of them by now. They also get one free beginner class each month, and yes, those are from my full courses. Gold members get the previous perks plus access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos. Plus, you get access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions and all kinds of source code that I use. And gold members get one free expert class every month after completing the beginner series. Platinum members get all of the previous perks, plus they get all of my beginner courses, all of them from every subject, and you get one free advanced or developer class every month after finishing the expert series. And you can become a diamond sponsor and have your name listed on the sponsor page on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you next time.